On the broadcast tonight, lights out as campus was in the dark through the morning on Thursday, resulting in classes being canceled.
Commencement news, seniors have been presented with the university's plan for commencement this spring. What should seniors expect?
And to infinity and beyond, a child reunited with his toy left behind.
That and more, our coverage begins right now on SUTV News.
Good evening and welcome to SUTV News. I'm Brady.
And I'm Olivia Faenza. Yesterday, students woke up to a bit of a surprise: no power. Students received an email from SUPD early yesterday morning stating that the power was out campus-wide due to an off-campus issue and that their power should return around 10 a.m. Initially, classes were canceled until 12:15 until the provost sent out an email to students stating that classes would be canceled for the rest of the day due to the power being out. The power came back around 12:30 yesterday afternoon, almost 6 hours after the power initially went out. Students took advantage of the beautiful day and weather swarming the Cub Amphitheater yesterday afternoon.
In an email sent to on-campus students earlier today, on-campus students can now visit residents in other residence halls. The email cites the new R3 testing center as the reason for the policy being put into place. However, off-campus students and non-students are still not permitted to visit residence halls. The new policy will go into effect beginning on Monday.
Late last night, the university sent out an email alerting students of shots fired in the area of 4th Street. The message was sent to students around 10 p.m. Thursday night, with an all-clear message coming about 30 minutes later. Police say the incident is still under investigation.
Chancellor for the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education, Daniel Greenstein, virtually visited Shippensburg University on Monday. Greenstein spoke to faculty and staff from the university and took questions from them. Greenstein talked about what he thinks the future will look like and how COVID may have accelerated changes in post-secondary education.
It is, to me at least, unlikely that higher ed is going to emerge from this pandemic largely unchanged. My suspicion strongly is that the pandemic will accelerate changes that had already begun, although the trajectory is not yet clear. That does not rattle me, and I hope it won't rattle you, but I do think it is going to require us to continue to be able to look forward and not back, and to be able to think nimbly and creatively.
President Carter also spoke publicly for the first time since she announced last week that she is leaving the university at the end of the semester.
This is not a time to let up. It is not a time to say, woohoo, she's leaving, so we don't have to work as hard. Well, we will have to continue to work as hard, and I am with you every step of the way. And I know that our chancellor will make sure that SHIP is in very good hands to continue to move things forward in the right direction.
SU made a surprising announcement last week for this year's commencement. Seniors graduating in May can either attend graduation in Seth Grove Stadium with limited guests or at a drive-in ceremony with 1 car per graduate. SUTV's Megan Talley has details and reactions from seniors.
The class of 2021 is given a choice for this year's commencement ceremony on May 15th. Graduates have options to fit everyone's needs while still following current COVID-19 guidelines.
I'm happy that they're giving us options because they didn't give the last class options. They just kind of told them it was this or nothing. So to see 2 options, I was like, they're not the best, but you're not really going to get the best in the midst of a global pandemic.
Last August, the class of 2020 had their delayed graduation in the commuter lot outside of the shipwreck. And while seniors are excited at the chance to have some normalcy to end their college experience, many remain undecided or challenged by large or split families.
We all want to have like the Seth Grove ceremony where we have the traditional graduation and we get to walk, and like we have that option, but at the same time we can only invite 2 people. Big factor for me is I want everyone to be able to be there, which like the drive-in would somewhat provide. Granted, I could have a vehicle that would fit everyone, but the other factor is I want to be able to walk across Seth Grove.
And after a year of disappointments over the loss of most fall festivities and difficulties of online schoolwork, seniors are having many different reactions to the news.
Yeah, this doesn't make up for everything that senior year should have meant for the class of 2021.
But it does it does help. I'm leaving on a good note.
Just because I know I have so many family members that want to come visit me that I won't be able to pick just two to come in person. I'm undecided if I'm satisfied or not. I'm very up in the air with how I feel about it. So I can't say yes or no.
Seniors have until March 19th to RSVP, and times for all ceremonies will be announced March 31st. Reporting for SUTV News, I'm Megan Talley.
Do you own a pair of Crocs? Want to spice them up a little bit? There is a Gibbet sale taking place on March 15th in the Cub from 12 to 1 p.m. Proceeds from this sale will be going to Shippensburg University's marching band. For more information, you can visit SHIP's event page. Now let's take a look at what's coming up in this week's edition of The Slate.
Coming up on this week's edition of The Slate, the news section will cover the Council of Trustees meeting. The opinion section will feature editorials from staff columnists. Ship Life will feature a list on how to celebrate St. Patrick's Day during the COVID-19 coronavirus. Artists and Entertainment will feature results from the 63rd Grammy Awards and an article of the new South Park special. And finally, sports will have recaps of baseball, softball, and lacrosse. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at ShipUSlate, and be sure to pick up the next week's edition of The Slate Tuesday at newsstands, or read any time at theslateonline.com.
With President Biden signing his COVID relief bill into law yesterday afternoon, it marks a historic moment for his presidency. SUTV's Adam Beam fills us in on what the bill will entail.
It has been the main goal so far of the Biden administration, and now with it passing the House of Representatives, President Biden could now be seeing his first major victory of his presidency with his new COVID relief bill. The major focus of the bill is set to give another round of $1,400 stimulus checks to millions, as well as extending benefits for unemployment and helping the ongoing vaccine distribution process. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, Joe Biden has been open that his number one priority was to help relieve the damage caused by the disease, and now Biden is set to deliver on one of the major promises of his campaign. With the bill passing, some of the benefits it will entail includes more eligibility standards for unemployment insurance, as well as $300 weekly for jobless aid supplements, all till September 6th. There will, of course, be $1,400 stimulus checks for all eligible Americans and their dependents. However, the payments will be phased out at any individuals who make more than $75,000 in monthly income and are cut off at $80,000 or higher. $20 billion will be put towards the ongoing vaccine distribution efforts, $120 billion to all K-12 schools, $350 billion to state, local, and tribal governments, and $30 billion to restaurants. There are numerous other benefits and reliefs worked into the bill. However, it should be noted that the bill has faced a number of setbacks, mainly at the hands of the GOP. Many Republicans felt that the bill was redundant and unnecessary, and that Democrats were pushing agendas not connected with COVID relief. Ron Johnson, the senator from Wisconsin, attempted to delay the vote by forcing the Senate to read all 628 pages it entailed. Despite their efforts, the bill passed in the House with a vote of 220 to 211, with only one Democrat, Jared Golden of Maine, opposing it. And now with the bill making its way through Congress, it will be finding itself on President Biden's desk, where it is expected to be signed on Friday. While there is no set date on when stimulus checks and other reliefs will begin to roll out, we could begin to see the bill get to work by the start of the summer. For SUTV News, I'm Adam Beam.
A fifth Republican U.S. Senator has announced their retirement and plans to not seek re-election come 2022. SUTV's Adam Beam gives us an update on the recent shakeups.
While CPAC made it seem like the GOP were set in their goals to regain control of Washington, those plans now face another upset as this week we now see the fifth GOP senator announce their retirement. Roy Blunt, senator from Missouri, announced Monday that he would not be seeking re-election come 2022 for the midterm elections. Blunt, who has served in the United States Senate since 2011, has not yet given a reason for this sudden retirement, and many were surprised by Blunt's reveal since he was the most likely candidate to win another term in the mostly Republican state. As previously stated, Blunt is now the fifth senator to announce their retirement, the other four being North Carolina's Richard Burr, Ohio's Rob Portman, Alabama's Richard Shelby, and Pennsylvania's very own Pat Toomey. While some states could easily be secured by the Republicans with these new candidates, a state like Pennsylvania could be open for another Democrat to win a seat. It should also be noted that there's a possible chance more GOP senators could back away from seeking re-election. When Wisconsin's Ron Johnson won his seat in the Senate, he expressed that he would only serve 2 terms, and with that end approaching, many wonder if he'll change his mind in time for midterm elections. Now with these retirements, the GOP's uphill battle for regaining majority in the House and Senate continues to steepen, and many wonder if the GOP can reach their goals as more hurdles enter their path. For SUTV News, I'm Adam Beam.
As more vaccines get distributed daily, the CDC has offered new guidelines for those who have received their doses. SUTV's Adam Beam gives us an update.
Wear a mask. Not forever, but for now. Wear a mask now so we can get to a place where you don't have to.
As we now approach 1 year since the country shut down due to COVID-19, things are beginning to look hopeful as vaccines continue to roll out nationwide and more people are receiving their shots daily. And while we still have no clear endgame in sight and normalcy still has a long way to go, the CDC has now updated their COVID guidelines to accommodate for those who have already received their vaccines. With the new guidelines, it gives a set of activities that individuals who are completely vaccinated can now partake in, with other vaccinated individuals and even those who are not. The guidelines allow those who are vaccinated to gather indoors with others who are also vaccinated without having to wear a mask or being 6 feet apart. When meeting with those who are not vaccinated in their households, you won't have to wear a mask or stay 6 feet apart as long as everyone in the household is at low risk for severe diseases. Individuals who are vaccinated are also able to avoid quarantine and testing if they do not have symptoms, even after being in contact with those who have already tested positive. The CDC also outlines that a person is only considered completely vaccinated following 2 weeks after receiving their final dose. While these new guidelines do allow vaccinated individuals to enjoy some activities like normal, the CDC still strongly encourages that when in public to continue following the guidelines already set in place. Wear a mask, social distance at least 6 feet apart, avoid large crowds and gatherings, and if experiencing any COVID-19 symptoms, still plan on getting tested. Remember to continue checking your state and local area guidelines on when you are eligible to get the COVID vaccine and continue to follow all safety guidelines until told otherwise. As of right now, over 120 million doses of the COVID vaccine have been distributed and the U.S. nears 100 million vaccines administered. For SUTV News, I'm Adam Beam.
After some beautiful weather to wrap up the week, let's send it over to Angel Bennett Money with this week's weather.
After some beautiful weather this week, we get back to normal as we turn clocks ahead this weekend. Tonight, a low of 31 and some clouds tomorrow. Another great day with highs in the 50s and sun shining bright. Looking ahead, temps dip back into the 40s early next week with rain on Tuesday and then a soaker of a day on Thursday. Temperatures bounce back into the 50s on Wednesday and Thursday, but fall once more headed towards next weekend. Don't forget to spring your clocks forward this week as we skip an hour overnight Saturday. That's it for weather this week. I'm Angel Bennett Money. Now back to Brady and Olivia.
Was to infinity and beyond. Well, more like Little Rock and beyond for this beloved toy. Little Hagen now has 2 new heroes to thank, a Southwest ramp agent and a mailman. You see, Hagen forgot his Buzz Lightyear toy on a plane in Dallas, but his family didn't realize it until they were already in their rental car. Enter Jason, the Southwest worker in Little Rock, who spotted the toy and made it his mission to get Buzz home. Luckily, Hagen's name was written on the toy, so he was already easy to track down. Buzz Lightyear arrived home a few days later in a hand-decorated box, complete with pictures of his adventures with Southwest Airlines.
It's so awesome that Southwest Airlines was able to reunite Hagen with his little Buzz Lightyear.
I agree. What a great story to end this week.
That's it for SUTV News. I'm Brady Fisher.
And I'm Olivia Faenza. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media at SUTV News and check out our website at sutvnews.org.
We're back with sports on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend and good night.